How to renew your Florida real estate license. To renew your Florida real estate license, you need to fulfill certain requirements. These include completing a FREC-approved Florida real estate license renewal course and submitting your renewal application to the DBPR, along with paying the applicable renewal fee. Renewals come in two categories: first-time renewal and your second and subsequent renewals. To maintain your license, you must comply with post-licensing requirements during the first renewal cycle. The same rules apply to licensees who have a suspended license. If they haven't completed and reported their required education, they won't be allowed to renew their license. For those holding a sales associate license, completing 45 hours of post-licensing education is mandatory. Similarly, individuals with a broker's license must complete 60 hours of post-licensing education. The only exemption to post-license education is for those holding a 4-year degree in real estate. You need to renew your Florida real estate license every 18 to 24 months from its issuance date. Renewing your license promptly is crucial to legally provide real estate services and maintain an active license status. The dates for license renewal are either March 31st or September 30th, whichever date is closest to the license approval date to renew your license. The state requires proof of your education completion, and you must pay a renewal fee. The completion date is the date that you pass the end-of-course exam. To renew your real estate license on time, your course must be completed before 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time prior to the day of your renewal deadline. If you are a sales associate and fail to meet the Florida real estate post-license requirements, you will lose your license and will have to start the licensing process all over again by taking the pre-licensing course, the state exam, and submitting an application for licensure. If a broker or broker associate doesn't fulfill their post-license renewal requirements on time, the broker or broker associate will need to retake the broker pre-licensing course, pass the state exam, and reapply for their broker license. Another option is to downgrade their license to a sales associate license by completing 14 hours of continuing education within 6 months from the license expiry date. You have several options to pay your license renewal fee. You can make the payment online, over the phone by dialing 850-487-1395 and providing your details to a DBPR employee. If you have received a renewal notice, you can return the renewal notice with your payment by mail. Additionally, the DBPR offers an online portal on its website where licensees can check and verify their license status and license expiration date. After the first post-license renewal period, both sales associates and brokers are required to take a 14-hour Florida Real Estate Commission or FREC-approved continuing education course during the 2-year license renewal period. The only exemption to the 14-hour continuing education requirement is if you are an attorney who is active with the Florida Bar. If you do not fulfill the continuing education requirement, submit your license renewal form, and pay the renewal fee on time, your license will transition into an involuntary inactive status. When your license changes to involuntary inactive status, you are not allowed to conduct any real estate activities. If your license has been classified as involuntary inactive for a duration of 1 year or less, you will be required to complete the 14-hour continuing education course to return your license to active status. If your license has been involuntarily inactive for more than 1 year, but less than 2 years, you will be required to take a 28-hour reactivation course. If these requirements are not met and you fail to complete either the continued education or reactivation courses on your second or subsequent deadline, your license will be classified as null and void. This means that whether you are a sales associate or broker, you will be required to start at the beginning of the licensing process and complete the initial 63-hour sales associate pre-license course once more. A voluntarily inactive license is a licensee who has qualified for a real estate license yet voluntarily chooses not to engage in the real estate business. They can reactivate their license by submitting the appropriate form signed by an employing broker to the Florida Real Estate Commission. This signed form will notify the Commission of the inactive licensee's intention to become active again. All of our Florida post-licensing courses, including the 14-hour continuing education course and 28-hour reactivation course, have been approved by the Florida Real Estate Commission. Duco Squire Schools, continuing education made simple.